In this video, I'm showing you guys Ice Barrier's post-terminal revenge with the new support, the Broken Mirror Mage level 2 Aqua Monster. We can summon Toad on the 5th summon, we can beat Nibiru, we can draw 4 cards like extenders, and I definitely think this is the best way to play going forwards. And if you see my previous video, you're gonna love this one. Let's go guys, Ice Barrier is finally here at full power. So with that being said, let's get into the video and show you guys what you need to get started with Ice Barrier, the coolest archetype post-terminal revenge. Let's get into it. Alright guys, so let's get started with the main monsters of the deck profile. We've got 2 Mirror Mages, 3 of the George Swordsman, we've got 3 of the Revealer, we've got 2 of the Hexer, we've got 3 of the Speaker, and then we have the coolest boss monsters ever, General Raiho and Warlock. So let me quickly explain. Mirror Mage is the best card in the deck. This card is reminds me of Mathmech Circular, Kashtira Unicorn, Snake Eye Ash, Snake Eye Popular, the card that takes a deck from 0 to hero. When it goes to grave, adds any Ice Barrier card, and then it can make tokens, turning him into a level 5. Bring out 3 level 1 tokens. You get locked into water synchros. Next up is George. He is our power creep to Wayne. And you're seeing here, I'm not running Wayne the Swordsman. I think that card is unnecessary. But he can special and then special another Ice Barrier from the graveyard. It's a Abyss Dweller for monsters. So it's actually very, very strong. And you just think it's an extender, but it actually is a floodgate as well. A Revealer is the 1-card combo. You need a discard for it. Specials a Ice Barrier tuner from deck. And then Hexer is something you could actually run at 1. But I want to run it at 2 in case I hard draw 1, so I can still special 1 with Revealer, and that way I can still pop off and do the 1-card combo. That's the aim of the game, is get that Toad on the 5th summon, beat Nibiru, draw 4. We've got Speaker, which is just another extender. You can bash yourself from graveyard to bring out a Ice Barrier token if you control an Ice Barrier. We've got General Raiho, my favorite Ice Barrier monster. This is a floodgate. It's a monster effect negation unless your opponent discards. And then Warlock is basically an anti-spell if you have another Ice Barrier on the field. There is another anti-spell type card where you have to discard, but these are the core, in my opinion, of Ice Barrier monsters. The only change I would possibly make is maybe you want to put Hexer to 1, maybe you want to put Mirror Mage to 3. It can start by itself if you have Almirage when it goes grave, and then you bring it back and make tokens. Maybe siding the floodgate cards, maybe pick one floodgate you really enjoy, side the other ones. I personally would always keep Raiho in, even against Labyrinth as well. Raiho is pretty good. Let's move on to the water extenders though. That's going to be exciting. We've got some new cards they have added, which I didn't include in my previous version. So let's get into that. Because these are all extenders, because they're all hard once per turns, and because they all kind of extend in a very specific way, that's why they're all at 2. And so Fishbowl Harpooner, for example, this card is actually kind of crazy. Sets up a negation on the opponent's turn when it's used as Synchro material. It's a level 4 tuner, which is important. It doesn't really exist in this deck, so you want to make sure you use that. You can also send another ward to grave to special, or special the other card you were targeting in your hand, the other water. It's a level 4, so you can also turbo out Bahamut Shark. You can even play Kraken if you want as well, the extra deck. This card is, again, a hard once per turn, and when you're drawing 4 cards, I don't want to see duplicates. Drawing 4 is a lot, and somewhere out there, I know there's someone that can do math for me, find out what's the odds of drawing a Board Breaker, Hand Trap, and or Extender in those 4 cards in the 1-card combo. So that's why we're taking all of these guys down to 2. Best problem to have in a deck is filling up the board too much and not having ways to get rid of stuff. So that's why we've got Adrian down to 2. You'll send a copy of itself from deck to grave, and then you get to special it. The Fishbowl cards go well with it as well. And sometimes, no pun intended, you're missing tuners, but you're also missing non-tuners on the field. So that's why I like this card for the flexibility, and I was very consistent with popping off with White Sardines effect. Fishbowl Launcher, this kind of reminds me of the banned Fishbowl monster, and so the reason why we're playing this card is for Anemone. Sometimes Anemone and Mirror Mage is everything the deck is. It's literally a 2-card combo deck. So you want to make sure you find Anemone, bring back the Mirror Mage, and then get your advantage with the Synchro climbing and tokens. You've got Swap Frog discarding monsters, you've got Harpooner discarding, you've got Adrian discarding, you've got discarding with Crocosaurus, so you're about to see these cards in the graveyard, and that's when they pop off. The Sardine can also become a tuner when it's special from the grave by anything, not just Porpoise. So even Anemone as well. And Swap Frog, by the way, and Mirror Mage is a 2-card combo to hard summon Toad, but also extend further. Let me know what you're playing though in this part of the deck. Abyss Shark is a very strong option as well, but I'm not going to run it because you do need a water on the field. And I'm more concerned about if you go second, Abyss Shark already has to assume you're doing kind of well, having a water on board. So for that reason, I decided to take it out. Alright guys, next up are the very unique spell cards played in Ice Barrier. We've got Freezing Chains, we've got Winds of the Ice Barrier, and then we have 3 of the alternate art medallion card. Winds can special so many Ice Barriers from the deck, and a basic combo which I'm not really using in this version, but you can definitely do at least post siding, is have Mirror Mage bring out 3 tokens, tribute 3 tokens, bring out as many Ice Barriers from the deck. Fusion Chain is your Monster Reborn, and this is kind of what you search sometimes when Mirror Mage goes graveyard. While you control 3 or more Ice Barriers, your Ice Barriers are unaffected by opponent's activate effects from the extra deck. So just a little bit more protection, you could say, and it's continuous spells, so you know it will stay around the field for droplets. Of course, the very cool alternate artwork for Medallion. This is a non once per turn searcher. You love to see it. Haven't really tested the trap card. I don't even think you need to run it, and the cost to keep it on the field, having to reveal Ice Barrier names when the boss monster of Ice Barrier doesn't even have Ice Barrier in his name, that just seems like a trap, guys. So I personally wouldn't run the trap card, but he is strong, don't get me wrong. Alright guys, on time for the worst part of the video, the boring non-engine. We've got Call by the Grave, triple tactics talent. Nothing too crazy here. When you play a deck like a gas deck like Manadium, like for example Ice Barrier, you either go down the mega hand trap route or you go down the board breaker route. You never go into non-wars. You can play Typhon, you can play SP, but if you're summoning those, it's not looking good anyway. So that's why I'm going all in with Goals and Match. And again, if you draw 4 cards, chances are we might see the Floodgates, we might see Goals and Match, and the 3 imperms to couple with droplets. And that's basically our pseudo going second, going first options. Let's move on to the extra deck, which I think everyone is waiting for. Very similar to what I had in the previous video, but we have gone through some changes. We've got Big Trishula, we've got Lancia, we've got normal Trishula, Crocosaur, Coral Dragon, Cheng Ying, we have Porpoise, we have Moncerus, and then we have White Aura Whale, Dragite, Bahamut Shark, Toad, and Double Anemone. With the new Lancia, you can special an Ice Barrier from anywhere because your opponent specialed a monster once per chain, so it's a twice per turn effect, which means you can bring out the General Raiho and Warlock, and that's why we're playing 2 Floodgates. Remember, George is a Floodgate as well, keep that in mind. But also, when he goes grave and leaves the field by a card effect, the opponent's card, it can cheat out any of the Ice Barrier Synchros. Treat it as a Synchro summon. That's where we summon Trishula to do a hand rip. And so yeah, Trishula is obviously the MVP. You'd think it would be power creep, but it's not. It's actually just still as insane as ever. And then you've got the other big Trishula, which you actually don't really summon, but if you have the opportunity, it's definitely something you should go into going second. And then when he goes grave, he'll also cheat out normal Trishula. Unfortunately, it doesn't count as a synchro summon. I wish it did. And then it becomes 3300 attack. Crocosaur and Coral Dragon are part of the 1.5 card combo, let's say, to draw 4, have a Omni Negate on the 5th summon. And Coral Dragon is kind of low-key a very strong card in this deck. Sometimes it's your Nightmare Phoenix replacement, because it's a tuner as well that allows you climb into Dragite. Something you could even run as a 2 of, by the way. I mean, this White Aura package I'm running, you know, not everyone is going to enjoy it. Maybe they might seem a little gimmicky, so for that reason, highly recommend a second Coral Dragon. You can see I'm running 2 Anemones as well, so easily one of these could be a Typhon, an SP, but I'm going all in with the War support. I don't even think you need those cards. Obviously, that sounds crazy. SP is obviously a very broken card, but I'm telling you guys, I feel like if you're playing an SP, you're already in a losing state. This deck is kind of a glass cannon. No pun intended, it's ice, so you know you'll be shattered instantly, but you want to make sure you can actually set something up on your first or second turn. Cheng Yi, which I rarely summon, but is obviously your OTK enabler. And then the really fun cards, White Aura Porpoise and White Aura Moncerus. Moncerus is really cool when you bring back Harpooner to make Dragite, because level 7 and 1, and that way you don't get to use Harpooner's grave effect, so it doesn't get banished. Porpoise is really just there as a very, because in this deck you will get into level 6s quite often. So I decided to make this my second Coral Dragon. Sometimes you can even bring back double Harpooner for maximum effectiveness. 2 Anemone, which brings back Mirror in the combo, and then Dragite, and of course White Aura Whale, another powerful level 8 synchro option. This is a Lightning Storm for the monsters. It can also do some really insane damage going second, and this card also can float like the other White Aura monsters. And that has been my deck profile for Ice Barrier Post Terminal Revenge. Let me know what you think about this in the comments down below. What would you like me to cover next? What have I missed out that you'd like to see? Remember, in my previous video, I did do some duel replays, so I highly recommend you go check that out for combos against actual decks, and also how to OTK, and also how to make these going first boards past disruption. Don't forget to check that out. And that being said, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.